Alright folks, back with another bass video here. So today I have a lovely Washburn Stu Hamm signature bass. This is an SHB60 or SHB60 TSS in Tobacco Sunburst Sparkle. It sparkles. And also known as the Hammer. So this is one of the import series. This one I believe is made, yes, it's made in Indonesia. This is on the upper end of the import series. These basses were recently discontinued. Just for posterity, I'll put a few things out there. They retail for about $700 a piece, give or take, $669, $689 without a case. It's an alder body. It's got a maple neck, rosewood fretboard, unknown tuners. They're lightweight tuners, but they work. It's got a giant Music Man sort of style humbucker up front and a jazz in the rear. That's really unique. These pickups are active. Back here there are two batteries, so it's an 18-volt system. Otherwise the guitar is passive. Only the pickups are active. There's no bass or treble. However, there is a Piezo saddle system in the bridge, and it's a really nice bridge. I like the way this works where the strings drop in. It's like an MTD bass that I recently reviewed. They have a similar string size, so it's really easy to get the strings out and there's no chance of scratching anything here. And it is a high mass bridge, as you can see. It's a pretty beefy unit. The jack location is back here, and it does not have one of those annoying barrel jacks. So you can actually get in there and tweak this if you need to. As far as controls go, this is something I got to set this record straight on. You're going to go to 90 out of 100 websites, and the controls are listed on wrong. And as a matter of fact, the features are listed cross-model on a lot of stuff. So these pickups are not EMGs. They're not marked as EMGs at the very least. I do not believe they are. I think they're just a facsimile thereof. The controls, contrary to popular belief, are volume for this pickup, volume for this pickup, the piezo volume, which only works with a push-pull. And I'll tell you, how many websites are you going to find that that's, one, that's not tone there, and two, that it's a push-pull. And then finally, you've got your passive tone here on the end. So neck-wise, it's fairly thin. It's I am kind of into jazz basses from the feel of the neck, and it is not a jazz bass, but if you like a jazz bass, you'll probably like the neck. Got 24 frets. This SHB60 model does have the bass clef yin-yang inlay. Some of the other models do not. So, and again, this is about the high end. They make an SHB85. Comes in Coca-Cola finish, and it's like a laminate or veneer, but it has actual EMG pickups in it. But that's not a piezo system. It's just a volume tone, I believe, or volume pan tone. So this thing is brand new. I got it on clearance, which is good. It's got 24 jumbo frets. These are about as big as it gets. And these, like all Washburn basses, have the buzz fight and tuning system. Basically, you tune every string to an E. So I would tune this low string. Actually, I think you're supposed to tune it at the 12th fret. You tune this one at the 7th fret, this one at the 14th, and this one at the 9th. It's kind of weird. But the thought with that tuning system is that it works better in the key of E somehow. You can tune it normally, and I can't really tell the difference intonation-wise. There's some interesting things about this bass here. So I'm going to turn up the volumes on both pickups, and I want you to notice something. So if I play this E, if I roll down the pot for the other pickup just slightly, it's as if I had rolled it all the way down. And I can do the same thing with the other pickup. So it's as if they put linear taper pots in here instead of audio taper pots. And the same is true on the tone. Except on the tone, it's the opposite. So instead of being really smooth and giving you a wide range of options from, you know, dead tone to really bright stuff, it just kind of comes or goes all at once, which that's kind of disappointing. The other piece of this that's a little interesting from a control perspective, there's no preamp on the piezo, and the piezo cannot be mixed with the magnetic pickups, which was a bummer. You know, if you look at you know, Stu's spiel trying to hawk the USA bases, he's like, hey, you know, one of my favorite tones, I use the front pickup, I turn the tone down a little bit, and then I use the piezo pickup. Well, you can't do that with this bass. The other thing you can't do is with the piezo, there's no preamp for the piezo. So here's how loud the bass is. We go to the piezo. So the piezo volume is nothing, which kind of a disappointment. You would have to switch patches or hit a boost button or something on an amp to make that useful live. And then the tone doesn't affect the piezo in the least. Whoops, here we go. Nothing. So, that said, you know, those are some of the counterintuitive things about the bass, things that make you scratch your head, make you wonder. I love this finish. I will tell you, it's not as smooth as you would expect it to be. It's still got plenty of shine and whatnot. I think they kind of did it on purpose. If you look at the American basses, they're listed as matte finish. It doesn't make any sense to me to make something this gaudy and then not to try to kick it up a notch. I wish it were glassy. I had a Ernie Ball Music Man Sterling, the USA Sterling model, not the Sterling by Music Man things, and it had a beautiful sparkle finish, and it was, you know, smooth as could be, and it was beautiful. It was actually a fairly similar pattern to this, just had a little more definition in the outer color. All right, so anyhow, that is pretty much it. I guess the neck access here is really nice, so real smooth, kind of Ibanez, probably a lot of guitars like this, but it's a nice bass. I've been playing it for quite some time here, and I'm really digging it. So let's get into the demo. We're gonna go tone full, both pickups all the way up, except I'm gonna take the rear pickup down just a hair, and you'll see why. So that's another thing. Well, let's just listen here. So. Something else that's a little annoying, and that is that with both pickups together, somehow the rear single coil here from this knob kind of overpowers the other pickup, and you have to turn it down a little bit just to get any kind of bass at all. It sounds kind of thin. So I'm first going to give it the best kind of two pickup shot. So I'm going to turn the front pickup all the way up, turn the other one all the way up, and then... Alright, so now we got some bass back in the mix. So we'll play some Stu Hamm type stuff, right? It's kind of his bass. We'll see what happens. too bad for those sorts of things. Let's look at kind of a pick tone. And actually, let's take that to the front pickup only. It's got a nice pick tone. That front pickup is good for some P-bass kind of stuff. That's really good picked. I really like the sound of it. So we'll turn the tone all the way down, and we'll go a little old school P-bass. Alright, so that was the front pickup. Let's take a look at the rear pickup. So we'll turn this down, we'll turn this guy up, and we'll go full treble first. It's just a little too bright for my taste. Real bright. Might be good for, I don't know, some sort of tapping stuff. Really bright. I guess if you were trying to play guitar being distorted, some power chords, maybe that would work. But if you turn the tone knob down, it's pretty usable. So you crank the mids up a little bit on your amp, you know, that's one of those cool kind of jazzy tones. So that works pretty good. I guess I kind of skipped it. We'll go back a little bit. So both pickups full, like I said, is kind of bright. You know, you lose all the bass when you take it that little bit, but for, I don't know, some slap stuff. Just real throaty, kind of in your face. All right, so let's take a look at the Piezo pickup. And again, you know, it's either on or it's off. I mean, it's kind of weird that they would make this push-pull. I guess it's so you know that you can't use it with the other pickups. But again, the volume drop is huge, you know. And you can't put your tone knob and do anything with it, but it sounds kind of like another good jazz pickup. Kind of go P-bass pickup with it a little bit, acoustic pickup if you, you know. So you way closer to the neck there. So there it is in a nutshell. Honestly, despite some of the faults of how they designed this pickup system, I really like this. It's got a very modern tone. With the tone control all the way down, you can still hear the round wound and the strings. So unlike, say, my jazz basses, you know, turn it all the way down doesn't turn to absolute mud, which is great. I can tell you it's fairly lightweight. It is not, it's not albatross on my neck. And the fretwork was great. The finish on the neck is nice. It's satin, but it's a real smooth. You know, it feels like it's got a finish on it. I know a lot of people like the raw wood feel. I do not. Yeah, overall, I like this thing a lot. This is a pretty sweet bass. This is my sort of thing. So hopefully this has been useful to you. I have 2 more Stu Hamm basses to put up in review. I've got a 40, an SHB40 and an SHB30, so look out for those videos coming sometime soon. See ya.